fields across the globe to access professional funding and networking opportunities across academic and corporate sectors in India. We at Sci-ROI Global host webinars, organize recruitment events, publish newsletters, blogs, and podcasts, and actively maintain job and funding opportunity databases, all to create awareness about a wide range of career prospects in public and private domains for those intending to transition back to India. I want to quickly share a video about Sci-ROI. Give me just 1 minute. Can you all see the video?
Yes. Now.
Is there an audio to the video? Because nothing is audible.
Yes. No.
Still, I think no audios.
Not yet. Rohit, you need to share the sound also.
Okay.
That checkbox towards the bottom of share screen.
Let's try that once again. Share sound. Okay. Yeah. Sonam, do you want to take away from here while I change them?
Thank you, everyone. Good evening to all of you. Myself, Dr. Sonam Pandey. Currently, I'm working in the Center for Stem Cell, Bangalore, as a research development officer. And also, I am right now co-hosting the today webinar along with Rohit. So today webinar on BIG grant scheme, we will have a 4 slot with partner associate and a previous big BIG awardee. The audience will get the chance to interact with the prospective of previously successful applicant, hosting partner, and the policymaker involved in the application review process of the BIG scheme. Before we start our webinar, let me have some adequates for the all audience. Keep yourself muted unless you have a speaking. Introduce yourself before you have a question in Zoom platform. Also, you have to keep your video on the better interaction with the other speaker as well as our panelist. Thank you. Over to Rohit.
Yeah, so here is a basic outline of how our event is going to go on. We are going to have 4 talks, one from BIRAC representative, one from a big ecosystem partner representative, 2 from previous big awardees, and also will be joined by 2 other previous big awardees for our panel discussion at the end. So to kickstart things off, I would like to invite our first speaker, Dr. Manish Diwan. He is the head of strategic partnership and entrepreneurship development, head of Startup India and Make in India for the biotech sector within the Biotechnology Industry Research Assistance Council, BIRAC. He has about 28 years of experience 28 of years experience in the biotech sector, from discovery research to product development, science administration to project management, and has led large professional teams in first class and best in class drug discovery, translational preclinical research, and early clinical development. He leads several national flagship schemes and programs of BIRAC, including risk funding through grant and aid, equity, co-investments by angels, VCs, and AIFs, and has been instrumental in setting up the incubation center for capacity and human resource building across India. Before moving into the public sector in 2017, he also contributed to several clinical drug candidates for global development at Daiichi Sankyo in India and Japan, Ranbaxy, Dabur, and also at the University of Alberta. Dr. Devan, we are privileged to have you in our event. Would you like to share your screen?
Thanks, Rohit, for liberal introduction. Is my screen visible? All right. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to people who, wherever you are joining in. I must congratulate Sci-ROI. They're doing an excellent job by bringing awareness across the globe so that the technology knows no boundary, comes actually true, and welcome to all the people who are looking India as a destination to come back. What I'll do is I'll try to give you an overview of one of the flagship programs of BIRAC, which has facilitated a culture of entrepreneurship in biotech area across the country. So BIG has completed 10 years. It started at the inception of BIRAC in 2012. And that has really built a momentum across the country, both for aspiring entrepreneurs, number of startups that have eventually made it and incorporated successfully, the people who got associated to mentor such young entrepreneurs and startups. The pool has really enhanced. We have now 10,000 plus such people around us supporting it. We also implement this engaging scheme with the help of implementing partner. Those are incubation centers. We call it BIG partners, and our strong network of specialized incubation centers who offer infrastructure, facility, mentorship, and network access. They are our BioNest incubation partners. So we'll get to hear some of them within this call. And this has translated in number of products emerging out of simple, humble idea, maturing into products which are entered into the market. And BIRAC has committed a large funding corpus to support people from all the way from this journey. So the journey starts from ideation, and through various schemes, we've been supporting this journey to all the way to culmination into market and commercialization. So funding is one bit, but it gets supplemented with the incubation facilities, mentorship, and creating opportunity to people to interact, take guidance from experts, mentors, investors, and create opportunities for showcasing at both national as well as international platforms. The early stage of iteration, where you test your ideas and reach from idea to proof of concept, here the funding is largely grant-in-aid. If you fail, you fail. If you succeed, I think it is you become proud owner of a startup where you drive that, and success is also yours, and it contributes to the overall success of the ecosystem. So the early part is basically grant-in-aid until POC, and then there are several schemes that we support all the way to commercialization with the increase in quantum of funding as well. That is through equity, grant, co-funding, and other instruments. Today we will just focus on the BIG. That is the mandate of today's webinar. So BIREC supports all the innovations and product development, technology development in the field where biotechnology interweaves with different disciplines. So it essentially caters to healthcare, which includes medtech devices, diagnostics, therapeutics, wellness, biopharma, agri and allied areas, bio-industrial area, waste to value, clean environment, and clean energy. And the philosophy of BIREC is that we create a pipeline of biotech entrepreneurs through an ensemble or an array of different programs and schemes. So BIG is where you firm up your mind that you are intending to go towards the entrepreneurial journey. So what all would you require at that stage? You would require access to high-end equipments. You want to buy consumables. You want to integrate a team around you. You want to get a space where you can carry out your experiments, move here and there, and some things that you can't do yourself within the facility, you would like to outsource some of these as well. So BIG provides all that facilitation and bundles it up. And our ask is that within 18 months, can you reach from technology readiness level 1 towards technology readiness level 3 in this duration. This is a national competitive grant, and the selection process is quite shared process where a lot of people integrate with us during the evaluation process, and these would be experts, mentors, stakeholders in the ecosystem, largely external. So in the entire journey of one proposal making it all the way to BIG award, typically that particular proposal would have got evaluated by at least 15 to 22 experts and the stakeholders. And this is done in a blinded fashion at the early stage, and then face-to-face presentation in the front of committee. And based on the relative grading, based on the scores that one particular proposal achieves, we create the merit list, and these scores are each proposal is scored against a few parameters like unmet need, value proposition, technical feasibility of the proposal, the passion and the team strength, business potential for the particular proposal, and clarity in thought, and potential that it can eventually reach to the market. So that is a critical go-no-go criteria. If there is none commercialization potential, so regardless of the proposition, it doesn't make it through. These are various incubation centers that are associated with us in the entire journey of implementation, which takes away a lot of close association, close mentoring, right from application buildup. Associate partners help us reaching out to deeper pockets of the country. And along with all the 75 incubation centers of BIREC, this entire ecosystem gets integrated to reach to the far end of the country. So much so, what we have seen is that not only in the mature innovation clusters in the country, we get BIG applications from very distant places too. If you look at the table down below, you would be seeing that more than half of such applications come from non-tier 1 cities, like non-metro cities. So I think this has really penetrated and reached out to the distant corners of India, and we are happy about it. And it's a partnered activity, as I mentioned repeatedly. So I think all our partners, all our stakeholders, well-wishers, mentors, experts who get integrated with BIREC and BIREC, this biotech ecosystem, it has started yielding now. You would also notice that the number of applications which are coming from women founders, co-founders or applicants, that has also moved up. So in 2017, yeah, I recall that these numbers were about 17%, 16, 17%. Today we are approaching towards 27%. So that's a year-on-year increase in that direction. This is a footprint of incubation centers that BIREC has created all across the country. And this intertwines with the BIG applications and BIG grantees. All the different incubation centers, I am glad that STBI and IIT Guwahati is also representing in this call. And our grantees, our BIG successful startups have utilized many of these facilities. So the pipeline gets created around the incubation centers, and the BIG is the strongest pipeline to create mature startups in that direction. Along with the funding, as I mentioned earlier, the infrastructure gets provided through the Pionest Incubator, the networking, and the other opportunities. Centrally, since we are Government of India enterprise, so we can connect with all ministries and departments, public institutions, as well as private institutions, industry, investors, different experts, both national as well as international players. So this all strength becomes available to each of the BIG grantee, for instance, and all our beneficiaries. We also create provisions for international exposure of the BIG grantees and the startups, so that there is a relevance for global competence and global landscaping right from the early stage of startups and their incorporation.
Dr.
India,
Devan,
yes.
Just a quick reminder, like I don't know how far in your presentation you are, but like to keep on schedule, like can you try to finish in like 2 minutes, the next 2 minutes?
Yeah, sure. I think just a couple of slides. It won't take long. So India is a startup nation, third largest ecosystem in the world, and biotech startups are recognized by highest by Honorable Prime Minister as well. And just a last slide, I'll stop maybe. Year on year, we are seeing this as building up the ecosystem across the country, and together with all the ensemble, we see a number of biotech startups which get incorporated in the ecosystem. They have increased over a period of time. I can stop here, Rohit. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Devan. I apologize for having you to cut short
no
on your
problem. I appreciate others
Yeah.
are also on the call. Yeah. Thanks.
Sonam.
Thank you, Dr. Devan, for this informative talk. I would like to invite our next speaker, Dr. Anand Bhadalkar. Is an officer of Department of Science and Technology, Government of Gujarat. He has a co-founder and currently deputed as a director of Savli Technology and Business Incubator at Savli Biotech Park, Baroda. He has a 19 years of science administrative work experience as a joint director at Gujarat State Biotechnology Mission, Gandhinagar, which is work towards the information and implementation of the biotechnology initiative policy, computerization, and the developing facility program schemes, etc., including those of biotech capacity and the entrepreneurship development. Under his guidance, STBI has the impact of the more than 65 startups that have filled that more than 50 patents, raised more than 1,100 lakhs internal external grants, and more than 572 lakh government funds and revenue of the more than 2,400 lakhs and the creative environment of the more than 400 people. Dr. Bhadalkar has been nominated by the state government as an officer of the director of the board of advisors or director of the incubators, etc., including startups such as Ganvi at the incubators such as iSeed of the RM and the Aviskaran of the Naipur Hyderabad, etc. Welcome, Dr. Bhadalkar. Now, over to you.
Dr. Bhadalkar, you can share your screen now.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
can you see my screen too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sir.
And can you see it full screen?
Not yet. If you, once you go onto the PowerPoint mode. Yeah.
Yes.
Now we can see it.
Yeah. So congratulations, Sci-ROI. Fantastic. I saw your activities and amazing the other things also that you are doing. And today's theme, of course, BIG is such a relevant one, and I'm so glad that Dr. Manish Devan could also join in, and fantastic that he gave an overview. I'm sure it will interest a large number of aspirants to actually work towards the most coveted. In fact, that is this we love to put it as the UPSC of the biotech startups these days. I wonder if you are able to hear me.
Yes, sir.
We can hear you, Dr. Bhadalkar.
Okay. I just realized that it has frozen from my end, but then the
Yeah, I think
slides aren't
having. Oh, the slides aren't moving. Maybe you can unshare
Yeah.
it again. Share it once again.
That. Okay.
Yeah, there might have been some issue with the internet, I feel like, because now your video is also like not visible.
I'm sorry for this. If
Yeah,
you
that's
can
fine.
hear me.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can hear me now.
Yes, we can hear you, but like there is no screen
Video
or
is
slides being shared. Yeah.
now
Uh,
we can see.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe you can just stay in this mode instead of going into the PowerPoint mode, Dr. Bhadalkar.
Okay, let me do that. All I want to do is, so I was telling you, BIG is the new UPSC of biotech startups. Okay, and most coveted one. It offers some fantastic perks, and this is what I thought I will want to share with you. Needless to mention, under Department of Biotechnology, you have this BIRAC. And the most important component, this is something that has already been shared by Dr. Manish Devan as to how you have BIRAC addressing all different values. See, taking or forming a biotech startup is a long journey from an idea till a product in use, and you get to see that BIRAC has products, if I may call so, across the value chain, right from idea till product in use, and you have different different schemes for each of these. So in nutshell, this BIG, which is open twice a year, this one is the version is essentially same as after 2020. So what are these ones and what does it offer? I would want to remind you that it is granted with 5% royalty obligations, number one. And number two, there are a lot of pre-grant and post-grant and during the process perks that are available. And they include the mentoring, advisory, referral supports that you get to see, opportunity or benefit from learning, visibility, and networking, and your ideas getting evaluated by experts. So this is something I think pretty important. What is supported, what is not supported. Now, this is again something I would want to remind you that yes, PhD research topic, I mean PhD work per se, directly what is being pursued by a PhD student is not supported. What is not or what is low on novelty, what is not leading to commercialization is not supported. What is not ethical, EHS, what is systematical, only clinical and field trials is not supported under this. And the broad areas, of course, this is again something that Dr. Manish Dewan already talked, but I'd like to draw your attention to the last quadrant out there where BioRack encourages especially AI, IoT, sensors, big data analytics, if it is related to biotech, cloud computing, ML, and such things, even inclusive of the secondary agriculture component. All right. So I'll move into eligibility, and this is something that is going to be important, especially for some of you who are attending this webinar from outside India. You need to be Indian citizens. NRIs are Indian citizens, but OCI, PIO are not eligible. Okay, those who have taken up citizenship voluntarily are not eligible, and you need to be incubated. If you see, you can apply either as an individual or as a company. So, so if you are applying as an individual, these things would apply. And then, in case you are employed, now either you could be employed in a for-profit entity or an academic or research organizations. In fact, earlier academic or research organizations used to be not for profit, but now you of course also have for-profit entities in general. But then yes, most of them by constitution are not for profit. So okay, but then you need an NOC from a competent authority, which allows you to eventually spin off and work on a sabbatical for some period of time, and eventually form your own enterprise, accept funds, and so on and so forth. Or you can give an undertaking saying that if I get selected, I will resign and I'll get back. Okay, so I put on my video hoping that it will allow me with the bandwidth. If you are employed with a for-profit entity, then this, or you could. So if you are an employee, okay, this could be a good way to arm twist, saying that no, you need to be a shareholder onto it, whatever small amount. So this is, I'm sure Dr. Devan would get to see a newer version of this BIG, the way we have been pitching out to BIG aspirants. Okay, but then there is always another perspective. And though we are not an associate partner or something, but we have been running these kind of master classes, inspiring people to apply. So this is an interesting point out there. Okay, so if you are an applicant, if you are a company and you want to apply for BIG, either as a under Companies Act or LLP company or so on. So you need to have at least minimum 51% owned by Indian citizens or controlled by Indian citizens. Okay, the project leader should be a shareholder, as I said, and the company. See, earlier we had a DSIR approved lab R&D facility requirement. Now it is just a own in-house R&D facility. If it is, it should be. You would have a BIG partner coming and verifying it at an opportune moment. But or alternatively, you could be incubated at a TBI. And of course, if one of the promoters is also a co-promoter of another ineligible company, then they are not allowed unless it is from a non-biotech domain. So this is an interesting component which we can discuss if the need be. Okay, what is an incubator? I think I can miss this out in interest of some of the other aspects as to so technical feasibility or doability is going to be important, but what is more important is it addressing an unmet need? Is it of proof of concept nature? Are there any IP barriers? Do you have an FTO? So incubators like us, while recommending or forwarding cases to BIG partners, what we do is we undertake FTO or prior art on behalf of our applicants and put it up to BIG partners saying, see, this is the reason why, or this is the justification why we think that this case should go through. In recent rounds, of course, clarity of business model or commercialization potential is going to be important, and so on and so forth. Availability of bio samples in case there are some clinical samples involved or so on. So this is where things are important. These are some number of things that have already been talked about, but then I thought I'll just make a mention. So team are all the aspects. And and what is a breakdown, or what are the installments in which these funds will eventually reach you? You should be able to deliver the milestones that you have promised in that budget. Another important aspect out there is I want to draw your attention to the third row out there, that BIG is the only such a coveted scheme which allows some amount of funds also for the scientist to be supported while trying to establish his own startup. Now, this is amazing, and these are the bases. This is something that you'll also get to see in the document. I want to draw your attention to this particular kind of criteria out there as to how you have. This is also something that has been talked of by Dr. Divan, but business perspective, commercialization potential, though it draws only 15%, but of course this is going to be very critical. So yes, the process flow as to how CBIG is one of the most efficient way you can get your proposal evaluated. They do it real quick, and you get to see within 7 to 8 months you have it going through, sometimes even earlier than that. Okay, so what is the process flow? This is something that you'll get to see in the document out there as to, but then I want to draw your attention to this component, especially where at least when it goes through technical experts, very often it is first sent to two experts. If both of them are no or negative, it is clear. But in case you have you do not have a unanimous decision there, you have one saying yes, other saying no, it goes to the third one, and two positives out of three can also make your proposal in. So this is an interesting aspect, but I want to draw your attention to some of these aspects as to novelty, unmet need, technical feasibility. What can the project achieve important goals in 18 months and in the budget proposed of 50 lakhs? Sorry.
That's okay. Could you
did
finish?
I miss out?
No. Could you finish your talk within 2 minutes?
Yes, I'll try and do that. So this is how it goes through the application process. And obviously there is a step at which eventually it is being evaluated at BIRAC as well. And then eventually the monitoring component, but I'll come to this important component out there as to why should you apply? Okay, because or what are the perks, what are the benefits that you get? The application process, you get mentored, you get to introspect, you get to sharpen your value proposition, the business model. BIG ecosystem builders, maybe TBIs, maybe associate partners or partners, they have master classes, they undertake IP due diligence. We also try and take technical due diligence and business commercialization MOUs. For example, with the Rajesh Patkar case, we did some field trials before taking this matter to BIG. Opportunity to get your ideas evaluated, apart from huge amount of networking inclusive of international. So these are the BIG partners and associate partners, but we will be happy to support you. I will just like to end with, most of the questions having answered, but I just like to end with telling you that biotechnopreneurship is a word mark and a trademark of government of Gujarat. It is primarily reflecting the resolve of the state government to support biotech entrepreneurship, and this is substantiated through this particular last slide, which shows as to how across the value chain you have different funding systems. The ones in yellow are all from the state government. Of course, these ones are central government ones, which are supported through our offices, but so on and so forth. So we'll be happy to be of any help to you at any stage, and not only us, the partners and the associate partners, everyone will be more than happy to be of help. Thank you so much, and congratulations.
Thank you, Thank you.
Thank you,
Going
Dr.
forward,
Badalkar. Yeah, I'm gonna and so I just want to remind everyone that we are done with like the first half of the talks, which is we heard from Dr. Manish Diwan, the BIRAC representative, and Dr. Badalkar, who was the big partner representative. Now we'll be moving on to the second half, which is talks from the big awardees. I just wanted to point out that, like, as Dr. Diwan said, we do have a lot of women entrepreneurs in India. And like, one of the good things that we found, like the team members found while finding speakers for this event, was that we were not at a dearth for finding women entrepreneur speakers. So I'm really glad to call our next speaker, which is Dr. Sayanthini Pramanik. She did her master's in applied genetics from Bangalore University, and then her PhD in biochemistry from Maharaja Sayaji Rao University of Baroda. She has experience in the industry as a scientist at Biocon, research associate at Lupin Pharma. And after spending 5+ years in the biopharma sector, she took a leap to co-found Pragmatech Healthcare Solutions, with a vision to develop affordable healthcare solutions addressing the local challenges faced in India and other low-income countries. Her mission through Pragmatech is to increase the access and adoption of periodic cervical cancer screening in India through ergonomic and cost-efficient methods, and also reducing the burden of tertiary cancer care and mortalities. With that, I would like to invite Dr. Sayanthini to share her screen.
Hi everyone. I'll quickly. It's saying I cannot start screen sharing while another participant is sharing.
Because I stopped it now,
okay,
so
fine.
I should be able to now.
Okay. Is it visible in the full screen mode?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, congratulations, first of all, and welcome everyone. What I have decided to talk on is go in a little bit of depth about how exactly to go about application to BIG and how to get a successful grant. Now, as Dr. Diwan and as Dr. Badalkar has already talked about most of the nuances, it might be a little bit repetitive, but I'll try to cover with as less repetition as possible. So these are some quick tips for a successful BIG application. The idea inception is something that is the most important. You need to conceive an idea and strongly believe it before being able to convince anyone else. And what are the steps post an idea? You do a little bit of market research. You try to understand a little bit of how exactly the market is going, which direction people are thinking in, whether your innovation has any chances of being adopted by the market. You do all these basic research work, and that is when you decide on raising some money to kickstart your research work. And for that, the best way to start is a big application, because the big funding helps you immensely to take your idea to a proof of concept level. So this is the TRL where exactly BIG comes in. And but considering that BIG has been running since past 10 years, that is bi-yearly application, that is like 20 rounds of BIG has already happened. You can imagine the level of competition that is there right now. So it is a very cutthroat competition is what I would like to term it. So you have to be really geared up and you have to do your homework very intricately to crack BIG. What is the role that big partner has played? For us, the big partner was a venture center, and they have definitely played a very important role, because they have not just mentored us through the application process, they also helped us refine our pitch deck again and again. Pitch deck is the slide deck that we present during the technical presentation. And even after bagging BIG, the timely disbursement of the funds, the smooth processing of the due diligence, documentation, and all those things have been carried out by Venture Center in the smoothest possible manner. Also, the milestone review meetings that happen, in that experts are brought in from the relevant field, and any kind of glitches or hitches that we might be facing are discussed, and they enable us to find solutions to overcome that gap. What are the suggestions or key points that I would like to give the applicants for the upcoming BIG grants is keep it simple and crisp. Whenever you are presenting or whenever you're writing the filling up the form, keep it very simple and keep it as crisp as possible. Stick to the points. Do not use any jargons. Take maximum time or utilize the words, the word limit that is given to you to explain the need in the most effective form. Like, do not use repetitive words. Do not use synonymous words. Use words that create an impact. Because I always feel if you can explain the need well, half the battle is won there. If you can explain the need, the problem is automatically understood. It becomes very easy to understand the problem that you're solving or your solution that you're proposing. So it is very important to explain the need, which you can do by highlighting the current pain points. What are the gaps? And build a quick story around it so that there is a personal connect that they can make to the problem that you're trying to solve. Personalization helps a lot. Use a lot of color codes. My current PPT is full of text, but never make a presentation like this. This is a perfect example of how your slide deck should not be. It should be more of graphics, representations, and color codes, which are very easy to understand. For example, red, do not do. Green, yes, you do. Such kind of things. Be very specific. Use examples that are very easily relatable. Okay. As Dr. Badalkar already said, never have an academic approach. Do not apply for big with an academic kind of a project. Think of proposing only a thing that really has a market value, which can be actually brought out into the market, especially when you're talking about biotechnology or things that have to do with healthcare. Do not, propose any science fiction or out of the movie solution. It has to be very realistic. And you also have to think ahead of time whether your product will be able to cross the regulatory barriers or not. Until and unless regulatory board clears your product, it will never reach the market. So think, ahead of time, whether the regulatory will approve your product or not. I know for scientists, their solution, their ideas are very dear to them. They can take up any fight to, defend them. But at the same time, it is very important to be realistic as well. Clear timelines and strategies are very important to be set. That way, reviewers or even panelists who are listening to your technical presentation will be able to understand that, yes, you have a clarity of how exactly to go about solving this particular problem. So showing them that yes, you know everything. Yes, you know all the strategies. You know that if plan A doesn't work, you have plan B to mitigate the problem. All these clarities should be brought in. That convinces the judges to put more faith in you, that yes, you will be able to take the project from zero to whatever TRL you're proposing. Because the end goal of the product is to be out in the market. So it is very important to talk about it in a very strategic and systematic way. Now, there are two paths to applying BIG. There is a slide deck which you need to submit, which will also be your main slide deck while you present in the technical round. But in the sidelines, you also have an application form to fill in. So which one do you do first? Generally, people like to fill in the form first and make the slide deck later. For me personally, making the slide deck was easier because I could easily, put my thoughts on the slide deck. And then from there, I could pick up points and elaborate while filling the application form. So I really feel making the slide deck first gives you a lot of clarity. And then whenever you're filling the form, don't write paras after paras. Even if you're writing a para, try to break them down into bullet points so that it is easy for the evaluator to read through them. Then you have to give a proposal summary, which is nothing but a snapshot. There are some key things that it should be covering. That is the current methods that are practiced. What are the gaps in those current methods? What is your solution? How your solution fills in the gap, and how you plan to approach or make the solution to fill in the gap. So it is like in less than 3 words, you're showing them a trailer, and it should be good enough to grab the attention of the reader or the evaluator. Then there is a concept note. Concept note is again a very small, concise, document which gives the crux of your solution. So again, you talk about your mission. You can actually make your concept note using the slides that you have already prepared. Okay, so you have your mission, you have your problem that you have identified, you show your solution again, you you show the value proposition. It is very important to show the value proposition, market potential, whether it actually has a market potential or not, and how do you don't just go and say that yes, it has a market potential, or because of so and so thing it has a market potential. You clearly define who your customers would be. What is your TAM, total addressable market? What is your SAM, serviceable market? And what is your SOM? You have to define all these things so that they get to know, okay, these are the number of people who would be able to use this particular product, and hence your business would be this large. Always try to give a number to whatever you're claiming. That gives a better picture. You should also show your competitors. Whom are you competing against? Never say that I do not have any competition. I'm the first in the market and that is my value. It is, trust me, not a good value. If there is nothing else in the market which is similar to yours, that means that might not be the need by the people. So you try to detail out all the competitors and also the commercial strategy. See, at every point, it is very important to convince the reader that, yes, I've done enough homework. I know what are the problems. I know how to solve it. Keep on repeating that in different ways, showing different angles. Details. Now you can start putting in the details in the form. You can repeat all that I have already talked about, but in a more detailed manner. Try to keep it short in the presentation. And most importantly, show statistics, show numbers, show pictorial representations, use as much color. Don't make it a rainbow, but use as much decodable colors as possible for a clear differentiation. Okay. What is very important is you have to be very, realistic in jotting down the challenges that you might face in your project. A lot of projects are they are not academic, but they have a lot of R&D kind of work that are required. And this kind of R&D work, R&D is something that you can never be sure of, that, okay, fine, this is the method A, B, C, and it will happen. It may or may not happen. There are good enough chances if you're dealing with live animals or dealing with biological material that a particular pathway might fail. So then in that case, what are your alternate strategies that you have thought of to mitigate that challenge? Very clearly, you should write about it. The more you talk about the challenges that you might face, the more convinced the evaluator would be that, okay, this person knows the way. He has also thought of the plan B or plan C. That gives them more confidence to give you the grant. Okay. Then, what if you're not able to reach the final end product? What if the product in the market is not well accepted by the customers? How will you reroute your marketing strategy? All these things are also equally important. Most important is you do some basic research, talk to some people, and especially customers whom you think that might be customers. Ask them, try to gauge and bring out in your slides that whether or how many key opinion leaders, for example, what are the feedbacks that your key opinion leaders have given, and what do your key opinion leaders actually think about your solution. Such kind of basic activities you can do to say that, yes, I have already started some back-end work for this project. You have to convince them that I am going to do this project, do this work, bring this solution with or without BIG. That is the conviction that you have to portray to them. Not just portray, but you have to believe in that yourself as well.
Dr.
Okay.
Pramanik, Dr. Pramanik,
Yeah.
this is like the 2-minute reminder.
Sure, I'll quickly summarize it.
Thank you.
So then it is IP, which has already been talked about. It is very important to have, have something novel which can be protected. And it would be nice if you can do some early research or freedom to operate searches prior hand before making the BIG application, or at least before doing the technical presentation. Regulatory, as I said, it is very important to identify the regulatory pathway beforehand. This is something that I've already talked about. Commercialization is something that you need to really think about and bring it out very clearly in your presentation or the application. Coming to team, introduce the team, give their background, relevant background, and it is always good. I mean, a lot of, I think 15 or 20 marks is allotted to a team. It's good to have a team which has a complementary skill set. Everyone in the team being researcher or everyone in the team being from sales or marketing does not help. A good complementing skill set is always better. You get more marks. So try to build your team that way. Lastly, do not get offended or touchy if you are challenged, if they say that this is not something that would ever work. Failures happen. Even we did not crack big in the first go. In the first go, we did but receive a lot of good comments, which we could incorporate. And in the second call, we did crack it. So do not try to defend. Do not get jittery about it. Listen to what the evaluator is saying and try to defend in a very, scientific way. If not, it's okay. You can again apply it. Big does not take a lot of time for the grant to be disbursed, so it's okay. Sorry. Thank you and all the best. I think that with that I would end my presentation.
Thanks, Dr. Parmani. You shared a very informative key points. I'm really impressed, and I thought our future who will be want to apply of this grant, they will look at that points and they will cover up on their presentation. Thank you so much. So with this, we are come upon second speaker, Dr. Keshavan. He did his master in biotechnology from Tamil Nadu Agricultural University. His PhD in the crop science and biotechnology from Seoul National University, South Korea. After his postdoc fellowship at Seoul National University, he served as a senior consultant at the in Silicon Gen, deputy director at Thergen, and the application scientist at the New England Biolabs. His area of expertise include high throughput next generation sequencing application, genomics, molecular techniques, functional studies, and the clinical diagnosis. He is highly motivated by the inventor's evolution of the technology and cutting edge science and eager to translate knowledge into innovative and a marketable product and bring these to be the table on the right target audience. With this motivation, the co-founder of OnMix Private Limited, which was awarded funding through the BIG scheme by the BIREC in 2022. Dr. Keshwan, welcome and take over the session. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Sonam, for your kind introduction. I will share my slides.
Yeah.
I hope it's visible.
Yeah, it's visible. You can now. Fine.
Okay. Good evening, one and all. Thank you so much. And our company, we started in 2020, and we have 3 directors. And recently, so far, we got around 82.6 lakhs of grant. And recently, we got a BARAC big grant. And we do a lot of services based out of next gen sequencing. And we also do clinical exome and other microbiome and rare disease genetic testing. And we also develop some products like a saliva collection kit and a fecal collection kit. And we are also into developing a biomedical device. And we are working for some few hospitals in Tamil Nadu as well. And these are all the certifications we done. And our mission is to, we have to be pioneer in genomics and diagnostic. And our, of course, we have to give a genome-based precision medicine for advanced human health. I think Anthony has explained so many things in detail. So I will rush up my slides. I think I hope I won't repeat the same content. So coming to the idea, of course, the idea will come from when you have necessity. So necessity is the mother of invention. Of course, you should have a problem-solving idea or technically, feasible idea, that you have to propose for a big grant. And you have to focus on one solution for one problem. I can see so many applicants that they come up with one solution for many problems. So they always say that I developed this kind of device, I developed this kind of solution for this many problem statements. So this is not the thing. So you have to focus only on one solution for one problem. And you can look for the opportunity. So whether you can commercialize the product, your product in the future, or what is the market size. So those things you have to look for it, and you have to discuss your with your people target audience, and whether you can commercialize within 2 years or within 3 years. So those things you have to look it out. And of course, you have to do some basic market search. And of course, you have to find competitors. As Shanthini told, you can't say that you don't have any competitors. So you have to, you have to look for competitors, and how your product is different from your competitors. And of course, you have to look for IP. So you have to search for the patent. There are a lot of patent websites out there. So even in the government side as well as private side. So you have to check for IP, whether your product will coincide with other products as well. So those things you have to check. Recently, so we got this big grant award, and we were the top second in industrial biotech category. So coming to the big application, so you have to focus more on proof of concept. So without a proof of concept, it's not possible to get the big grant. Of course, even though it's idea to big grant is giving for your idea. So you have to do some proof of concept. You need to do some basic research or basic work for developing your product. So without a proof of concept, it's not possible. It's not feasible to convert into the commercial side. And second thing is novelty. Of course, you can't say that your product is novel. You are first developing in the country or in the world. So don't say like that. You should bring some novelty in your product. Either how it different from other products. So those things you have to focus, and of course team. As Shantini told that you have to have a team with exact people, like you can put you can give you can so that we have a salesperson, we have marketing people, we have accountant and all. So you need to have some correct people to develop this product. So team is very important. Of course, even for my application, they said I had to add some RNA biologist and some other people in our team. So we bring RNA biologist in our team in the later stages. So the team is very important for big application. And apart from that, you have to specify your problem. You have to specify your problem correctly, and whether it's you can take it forward for a global or within India, and whether it affects certain sectors or section of population. So those things you have to focus on. And of course, whether it's a existing solution means you have to look into pain points and research status, and of course competitive advantage, and you have to look for scalability. So some people they bring some product might be novel, but they don't know how to scale up that particular product. So those things you have to mention in your big application. So normally most of the I have some 3 years of experience in applying a big application. So later stages I came to know that these are all the things we have to focus on. So you have to add those things as well. And our big partner is KIT TBI from Bhubaneswar, and though we have other partners, so we got a very good help from KIT TBI, and they do a lot of work, and they do big grand write-up sessions. So that was helpful for us. We attended all the sessions right from 2021, 22 and all. So that was helpful for us, and of course they will provide a letter of intent. So try to get the letter of intent as early as possible. And once you get the once you pass the first stage of big grant, so they will conduct a series of mentoring session. So actually that mentoring session was helped me a lot actually. So I gone through so many mentoring session, and I modified every session I keep on updating my slides. So it was really helpful, and with the wide range of mentors, I got so many ideas. Actually, even they shared so many ideas, and I didn't propose that particular idea in my application, but one mentor he told that yeah, you can try with this. So that was huge idea, huge that has a huge marketing potential, and we are planning to include that one as well. And later stages we included in the milestone as well. And apart from that, they will also guide give guidance to the TP round and fund utilization and due diligence and all in the later stages. And apart from that, we got a on-time fund release. So even I heard from so many people that we are stuck with due diligence and all. Try to contact your big partner, and they will help you, and regarding the due diligence. And we got fund in on time, and now we are running the project. And they also do monthly tracking. So every month we used to have a meeting, and whether we are on a right track or not. So they will check everything. So we already hired people, and we already bought some instruments, chemicals, consumables, and all. So those things they keep on checking, and keep on check, and they will say if you are on a wrong track, or if you are on a if you have any doubts, they will clear your doubts. And they're quite good. I'm not talking about a KIT TBI, but other big partners also doing the same thing. So try to interact more with your big partner. So what you have to do after big, you have to think about commercialization. So any products, you have to go for commercialization after your, validation, or once you make the prototype. So of course, you have to think about scale up. So scalability is very important for any kind of prototype. Try to give more attention on scale up your products, and try to clear all the regulatory regulatory compliances. And once your product is ready, then you can easily take it to the market. And people from I think Dr. Manish is here, and he will help you. People from Bayrak will help you to take your product to the market. So try to contact people from your big partner as well as Bayrak. So there are other benefits you will get after a big grant. Once you get the big grant, you can also apply for SIBRI or BIP. So that is ideation to late stages funding, and also you can available for to get a seed fund, Bayrak seed fund. So coming to the take home message, so try to share your idea with your mentors. So most of the people they won't share their idea, so they stuck with they don't know how to write a proposal. They don't know how to do the pitching and all. Try to share your idea with the mentors, so they will give a lot of inputs. And maybe you can share your idea with your big partner, or those who are believing. So try to share your ideas. And next thing is try to mention in what way your idea is different. So that is very important in any case of during pitching session. Try to mention that one as well. And whether your idea is different from technology or application or affordability, so those things is very important during your pitching. And you should be you should have a clarity on your thought. You should write defined objectives. So the objectives should be very clear. Even you can give 2 objectives or 3 objectives, even 4 objectives, but it should be very clear based out of your milestone. And you have to give the detailed work plan for 18 months. And of course the feasibility in budget and time frame also very important. So you have to give exact budget of what you are looking for, and the time frame also very important. And of course proof of concept and novelty. Try to do some basic research to make a proof of concept. And of course you have to list out the novelties, so how your product is different from other competitors and all. So those things are very important. And you have to mention fund utilization as well. Some people they said I need more money for equipments or consumables. So it's not like that. So you can discuss with your big partner. And I can see I saw so many people they don't know how to do the Bayrak, they give only 30% to the equipments, 30% to the manpower. So those things you have to you have to give very precisely. And if you need any help, you can talk to your big partner. So fund utilization is very important. They can make all the proposal, and they stuck with fund utilization. So try to focus on fund utilization from the beginning, and try to give
Dr. Keshwan,
yes,
I just remind you, please finish within 2 or 3 minutes.
yes, this is my last slide. Yeah. Good.
Thank you.
So so these are all the things you have to focus on. So if you need any help, you can contact me, or you can contact your big partner, so they will help you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Kesavan, for your valuable insights. I'm gonna try to share the screen now again. Just give me 1 minute. Yeah. Okay, so now we are at the end of our talk session. Before we move in onto our panel discussion session. I would like to invite our panelist. We were planning on having 2 panelists, but unfortunately, one of our panelists couldn't make it. So our only panelist today is Dr. Swapnil Sinha. She wears multiple hats. She fits the category of both a previous big awardee as well as a big partner representative here for the context of today's webinar. She has earned her PhD from CDRI Lucknow and then did postdoctoral fellowships at Institut de Research Clinique de Montreal, Canada, and Colorado State University, USA. Her research was focused on various aspects of gene regulation during cancer and cardiovascular diseases. Then she moved back to Guwahati as a DST woman scientist at NIPER Guwahati from 2014 to 2017, where she shifted her research interest to biopharmaceuticals and DNA-based molecular diagnostics. She conceptualized and incorporated her startup, Altanostics Labs, for which she secured early stage funding through BIG in 2018 for the development of DNA-based UTI detection kits. Since April 2022, Dr. Sinha has been working as the CEO of the bioincubator Bionest at IIT Guwahati, again supported by RAG, Government of India, where her chief role is to handhold startups and innovations from ideation to market entry. Dr. Sinha, welcome.
Thank you for the introduction. Yeah, good evening.
So I would once quickly want to ask all of our speakers and most of our audience to turn on their videos so that we can take one quick screenshot for marketing purposes later. And then we'll get started with the Q&A question session. I know that the audience have a lot of questions that they're already ready with. Kamal, just let me know, we might give a couple of minutes for everyone to. Yeah, whenever you're done taking the screenshot, just let us know. Yeah, so also apologies to all the speakers and also the panelists for not having enough time for all of you to disseminate all of the information. We are so constricted by time, but I would like to remind that this webinar is also going to be on YouTube for the audience to go back and again look at it again. I would like to ask all the audience members to start typing in their questions, and also if you feel comfortable enough to switch on your video and ask the question, then you can actually raise your hand using the Zoom option, and then we can one of the moderators will call you out, and then you can ask the question yourself. So we are going to get started with maybe the first question from Subhadeep Datta. Subhadeep, if you're here and if you would like to ask the question yourself, feel free to. Subhadeep. Right, I guess I'll go ahead and ask the question from him. So he actually had 2 questions. He says that if I understood correctly, there are possibilities where one startup could be established by 2 or multiple innovators, one in India and one in abroad. In that case, does the patent or IP need to be filed in India, or is it okay if the IP or patent is already filed outside India, since one of the innovator is outside India? Any of the panelists or the speakers, feel free to unmute yourself and answer that question.
So Rohit, the grant is given so that enterprises are set up in India, and we promote that IP belongs to the applicant. And if the work is being done in India, so first IP would be filed within India. And IP is then also supported and promoted for national phase entry, so PCTs, etc. So there is a component within the BIG grant that can be utilized. Also, there is an additional scheme and program of BIREC under which any BIREC awardee can utilize that support to file international patent.
Thank you, Dr. Diwan. Does anyone else have anything to add to that? Assuming none, I'm going to go to his second question, which is, so through this big scheme, does BIRAC help or allow to attract foreign investors if there is any possibility or interest? Again, I feel like this might be a question for Dr. Diwan.
Okay, yeah, I think
there...
it is natural for a startup to progress. So whether the funding is coming from India or abroad, I think as all participants would like that the investment can happen from across the globe. So it's non-restrictive in nature.
Thank you, Dr. Diwan, for your answer.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Diwan. Dr. Diwan, I'm just asking the second question is in our question box that from the Darsani. If Darsani, you would like to open your video and you can directly ask, or otherwise I will take your question. Is Darsani? Okay, I will take. So she is asking that how can we contact with the entrepreneur in the abroad to build up our ideas? So anybody from our panelists or speaker can take this question to answer him.
I think I would like to just state that like a lot of our audience is global, like, mostly outside of India. So like the questions might be good in that sense that like, so even this question again is about how to get in contact with entrepreneurs from abroad to build the ideas. So maybe one of the previous big awardees who has been in similar position if you could answer this.
I think I can answer this partly. Firstly, if the question is, can we contact entrepreneurs in abroad to build your ideas? Well, you can definitely contact other entrepreneurs, anybody, whether in India or abroad, as long as you have an NDA signed, which is very important. And if the question is how to contact them, I think the big partners can be one of the sources through whom they can come to know about people or entrepreneurs or people who have already who are key opinion leaders. Such contacts can be built up through the big partners, or I think LinkedIn is a good platform to find out similar people working in the similar field. If anyone else has anything else to add.
Yeah, I'll just add, and similarly, there are some ecosystem partners like us, like GSBTM, which do showcase the startups and their and the investment potential in such startups too, especially during the NRI Day or things like this, NRI events or so.
So kind of maintaining the same theme, I have a personal question. So like say if someone who's abroad, they are interested in applying for the big scheme or whatever, as in like they have an idea that they can apply for the big scheme. Would you suggest that like we can apply from here, or like we wait until we make the transition back to India and then apply?
In my opinion, unless the transition is already on cards, there's no point doing that. At least it should be planned, because and then presenting it shouldn't be as if agar mila BIG to aunga, nahi to nahi aunga, kind of stuff.
Yeah. Sonam, did you have the next question?
Yeah, here in chat, there is one more question for, I think, awardees can also apply the question. How many slides do you have advised to include in the deck, and what is the pitch time to limit? If anybody wants to new apply, so what they can do for that part?
Yeah, so
Keswan or sorry, go
Sorry,
ahead.
sorry.
Dr. No, I was asking if Keswan or Sai Anthony can share their experience.
Yeah, if already awarded person is, they can answer, it is good, I think so.
I don't think there is any limit to how many slides you can have. As long as you can convincingly talk on each slide and each slide is doing justice to the entire topic, and as long as you can finish it within the time frame. And I quite do not remember what is the time frame, but I think it is 10 minutes.
8 minutes.
7 minutes.
7, okay.
But I'll take a moment and compliment Dr. Devan for a very interesting, this system of recording and putting the slide thing. We have also started using it in the government of Gujarat systems, but this is a very effective way. So I'll just put, I'll just tell you what is it. Each innovator is supposed to give a pitch deck, and this in form of a recorded pitch deck with slides up there speaking out, and one can also put in some animations that really helps. Okay, that helps you to bring clarity. So it is not the number of slides, but it is an excellent work. Dr. Shantini, when she during her talk she presented, use your color codes, use comparisons. So doing this, it be as effective as possible. So it is not about number of slides. It is also within 7 minutes, how effectively can you pitch, making the whole thing interesting and not monotonous.
I think that's very valuable. Just to add here, so the recorded presentation of 7 minutes gives you idea how much you can put in content there. So after 7 minutes, the session opens up for face-to-face interaction. And in that, the experts ask you question, and you can have some slides, those are supporting slide in the backup that you can reach out and also share. And BIG gives you a template, what all needs to be covered, at least broadly in those brackets, all the key criteria that those are being mentioned against which your application is evaluated. So that guidance is also given through the BIG team.
Thank you all for your answers. So we also have a question from Janardhan, who asks so how do you come up with the idea to pitch something? And I think I would just like to extend a little bit on say even if we have an idea, does big or the big partners, are there any avenues for us to go and find, for example, Dr. Keshavan said that he was suggested to go find or employ an RNA biologist. So people with similar minds or similar ideas, are there any platforms or avenues that BIRAC or the big partners are providing where people can go find like-minded people, or how to go about that process in general?
If I can go first, and Rohit, I understand the first component you said as to idea, where do you get the idea from, etc., etc. So I'll just take a moment and point out, now this is something that we get to see. You have lots of cases where you have solutions in search of a problem. Okay, as in kuch kaam kiya hua hai and now I want to move in, and so this is strongly discouraged, the very philosophy of BIG, and this is what even Dr. Shantini pointed out, it should be commercializable. So unless it is an unmet need and you think you will be able to, or you can create a demand for it and it has a potential for commercialization, it can happen. So that's the number one component. The second part is how do you get like-minded people to work onto it. So there again, another important point as to how it is about building the team. So you have to make sure that all the components of what is needed for that project. It's not that I have a partner, I have a spouse, I have a friend who's who is to be accommodated in the project. Eventually, is your team, is your team absolutely diligently built or not? if you have an engineering component, do you have someone coming in? You have a coding component, do you have a coder out there? Or you have someone who will who will help you take to market? If not, a team member, a mentor out there, an advisor, and so on and so forth. So I hope both the components is what. Right.
Dr. Divan or Dr. Kesan, like, do you guys have anything that you would want to add to that?
I see a webinar like this that you are organizing. Some people are present, some would listen to this at their comfort zone maybe later and even afterwards also. So I think this is a very good interaction engagement point. This kind of activity happens by and it's being conducted by all the 75 BioNest incubation centers and at various length of time with different focus. Some are evangelization workshops, evangelization seminars, engagements. There, it's just bringing people together and creating that awareness. Some are topic specific, particular domain specific for startups and for, let's say, regulatory, GTM, etc., etc. So I think this kind of an online platform offers an opportunity to engage and also gauge what is the ecosystem and how it is progressing, what are the mindset provisions and which directions people are moving. That is one way. Another is that a lot of networking events happen within India. And I would urge that people who are outside India, when they visit their home country, meet people, be it professional or personal visit, try to reach out to any of the nearby incubation center. There you will get to know the local nuances as well as what are things happening in the ecosystem. There also you can make those soft engagements and probably then once you go back and continue to network, so you can firm up an engagement. And I think team building is an activity which requires conviction from all the team members, and it would come over a period of time. And couple of interactions can firm it up. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Divan.
And by the way, just to add one more thing, in December, we will be organizing a very large mega event called Global Bio India 2023, and where the entire biotech community from India as would be there. And this is more like a business engagement, more like Bio US, Bio Korea, Bio Taiwan, Bio Japan. So it is India's ecosystem being showcased for outside India community, and close to 40 countries typically participate in such events.
I think this is very informative. I think our audience will get the chance to get more information from Pirate and BIG. And thank you, Robert. So I have a question for our awardees who can answer, maybe Dr. Kesan or maybe Santani. Is there extra benefits that Biotech awardee if they want to get other startup grant for DBT?
Sorry, say it again. I think it's not clear.
After just a minute.
Yes.
Is there extra benefits for Biotech awardee if they want to get other startup grant from DBT? It means if you finish your BIG grant, after that, did you avail the another grant for your enhance your startup, whatever you during your BIG grant you startup you did?
No, actually, before my big grant, I got a few grants like Nidhi Prayas, DST Nidhi Prayas, and Tamil Nadu EDA award. So those things I got already, and of course, after my big grant, I'm eligible to apply a seed fund, and SIBRI or BIP. Actually, I already talked to my big partner that they said you can apply, but not now, but maybe after completing my big project. So of course, it's a huge opportunity. Once you get the big grant, so you will get seriously you will get series of funding from the DBT. So that's the main advantage of getting a big grant. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. So, Rohit, if you have another question from our chat box.
I was just going to wait and see if Dr. Anthony had anything to add.
I think he left. I think we have a.
Yeah. Okay. So we do have a few more questions from the audience. Subhadeep, do you want to go ahead and ask your question again, or would you like me to do it for you? Seeing that you haven't changed it to unmuted. So Subhadeep has one more question. It is like, it says, during the big application, is it acceptable if we show POC research or data which has been performed abroad? Proof of concept data or research?
Yeah, I will take this question actually. The thing is, of course, you can do some basic research in abroad during your postdoc or other during your PhD. Of course, you can take the result and you can make it a proof of concept, and with that proof of concept, you can apply for a big grant. But the thing is, you had your product or your solution should be commercialized. So that is the main thing. Of course, you can use it.
Thank you, Dr. Keshavan. Next, I think we have Aarti Kabra. Is she still around? Sonam, do you want to go ahead and take the question from Aarti Kabra?
Yeah. So Aarti Kabra is asking that can we apply for BIG for the idea which is there in the market, but with modification and different value propositions? Anyone can answer this question. I think our partner can give this answer.
Swapnil may want to take that answer. So go ahead, Keshav.
Thank you, Dr. Manish. Actually, the thing is, of course, they can modify. Actually, the idea is like, in India, we are importing so many diagnostic kits and, so many other kits as well. So just focus on those things, and we are paying, so much of custom duty. So try to develop those kind of kits in India, and, you can modify, you can give it in affordable cost, and with a limited turnaround time, or limited diagnostic time. So those things you can modify. Of course, you can do the value proportion as well. So based out of Indian market. So you can modify, you can do you can get some idea of those products, and you can do it here. I think most of the DBT funding and fundings, especially in Nidhi Prayas, they're focusing on those kind of products only. So you can do, yeah.
So Patty, you can get your answer. So with this, we can go up the next question. Rohit, if you have, you can ask.
Yeah, so I actually, again, this is, I was hoping Dr. Swapnil Sinha could be here for this question, but I guess, so my question is, like, in the process of like the implementation of the whole big scheme and other schemes, BIRAC is also providing a ground for a lot of other job opportunities as well, like as say scientists or like incubation facility experts within the whole big partner network and all that. So Dr. Devan or Dr. Badalkar, could you highlight maybe a few opportunities for researchers and scientists who could get involved in this whole process, like not necessarily as an entrepreneur, but someone who's maybe transitioning back and just wants to help the entrepreneurship or the ecosystem in India? What kind of opportunities exist and where to look for?
Anand, you want to go for it, or should I
Maybe you can go first. No issue.
I think, as I mentioned earlier, Rohit, the mentor pool is what makes or helps the ecosystem to grow. And as Kesavan mentioned during his talk, that during his application, he connected during the mentorship program with several experts and advisors who actually helped iterate the proposal, and he evolved that proposal and improved the pitch deck. And even after the BIG award, the entire transition of his startup is typically iterative process. And that iteration, if it is guided by mentors, right subject matter or domain experts, investors, and industry experts. So that builds on the proposition that it can go and reach to market one day. And this pool is very valuable. And BIREC kind of curates this mentor pool with great diligence. People who have demonstrated participation in entrepreneurial aspect, be themselves be entrepreneurs, startups, or have expertise from corporate exposures in R&D, etc. They all are part of this mentor pool and BIREC network, and we greatly value. What you can do is, in order to make the first connect by yourself, you can look at bioinnovation.com, which is a website that we have created, which is a biotech startup showcase platform that showcases 750 products which have come out from the startups in the ecosystem. So there we have created an option that you can register them yourself like a mentor. It's more like a LinkedIn platform, and you can directly get connected with the startups and entrepreneurs. And there's an investor community also. So that is it would scale, and it is something which is in making. But I think I would actually encourage and invite people who are looking to contribute back to the ecosystem and connect. That could be a very good platform to get connected. And you have the option to express opinion, write blogs. And I think so it would not only be me and you, but the entire 750 startups plus the entire large population who would be visiting that particular website. If you want, I can repeat that, or I can type that that URL on the chat. Thank you.
Yeah, if you could do that, that would be great, Dr. Devansh.
I'll
you can
do
also
right
share it with the rest of our audience in the future.
Yeah, sure.
So if I may come in now, I think your question was, apart from BIG aspirant or applicant, what are the other opportunities? So what I did was I quickly checked out my slides, and if I can show one slide to all of you, and that is, I wonder if you are able to see the slide out there as to this is the long chain across, you identify a problem or a need and a solution toolkit. That is where a technology idea is born, and then through the POC and doability and prototype demonstration. So it's a long journey, taking rights, trials, approvals, okay, and different types of funds that are existing. It is a very, very crowded space, and you need all types of people. You need people who map knowledge to problems. You need research infrastructure. You need knowledge and workers. You need inventors. You need patent professionals. You need incubator facilities. So you need incubator managers. Incubator managers include, for example, for a government incubator like us, you need people who are good at putting things or taking benefit out of the GEM system, the government e-market, helping startups put their product on GEM, helping to procure instruments from GEM, regulatory certification experts, helping them, CS, CA, legal professional services, bio suppliers, quality control guys, managers, and so on and so forth. So across this, there are n number of things, and then there is no end to it. But so, for example, looking out for simple thing, a patent professional from biotech space. We struggled for many years. We inspired people because look out for the fresh crop from university. For years, all they wanted to do was research, that too fashionable research in molecular biology, and so on. So getting them into applied research, getting them to do other aspects, maybe project management in biotechnology or IPR or other things. In fact, of course, there are, for example, each of these ecosystems, maybe southern India, maybe Bangalore, maybe Calcutta, would be pretty different. In contrast to that, Gujarat has been a different terrain. But this is where we have seen through. So this is a slide that and other slides, this was the slide I could quickly fish out, which we used to tell them that there are other things that are also relevant and important. You need not necessarily be only looking at one thing. Sorry, a long answer to a short.
It's okay, Dr. Balankar and Dr. Devan, to address this question. So with this, I have one question, what kind of the additional training can BIG awardee benefited from the being at the BIG partners? So anyone can answer this question.
So is that question specifically from a BIG partner? In that case, we have Dr. Swapnil Sinha as a BIG partner out there. Yeah.
I think she is not in our.
Yeah, she might have got disconnected in between. Yeah.
So if anybody could answer.
So I just want to remind that there are benefits across the process. In the process of applying, you get a lot of clarity. You build your project well. You build your value proposition better. So that is the first benefit that you draw. Very often, one of the BioNest is helping you build your proposal. In the process, your proposal gets refined, your idea gets refined. You get teammates, you get advisors, and eventually जो है आपका चल पड़ता है, project चल पड़ता है. उसके बाद जो है you take it to your BIG partner. Very often it gets refined there. Like Dr. Shantani said, we help them not only in mentoring the project, but also in building a good pitch deck and then taking it to the next level. So if I may give you an example of someone who's now been shortlisted in the 22nd call. So Dr. Rajesh Patkar, and this case, we got to see that they had a particular product which was increasing the number of tubers and the protein content in the tubers, potato tubers. So we could connect them to the Directorate of Horticulture and take controlled field trials in the government of Gujarat fields and show as to what is the result. Now, this kind of support is possible from the ecosystem partners. Apart from IP due diligence, technical due diligence, so we actually help them take FTO, prior art. Okay, FTO is freedom to operate. What kind of freedom do they have to operate? So this are different benefits that aspirants can draw.
I have a question. Thank you for this wonderful information. Really, it's like now I'm in a US. So if I suppose get a BIRAC grant, I'll be like working for 18 months. Everything will be fine. I'll develop some product applications, everything. What about further? So after that, what again, can we get a same big grant, or how to go about that further? Like 18 months, this is for 18 months. What next? Can we have a clarity for that? So what next after this, like 18 months, like what we have to do? Shall we again have a opportunity for applying to the same grant, or something like that?
Okay. So let me go first, and then we'll request Dr. Diwan to pitch in. But so number one is, I mean, I have two parts to the answer. The first part, of course, is you cannot be dependent only on grants for this. You have to look at commercialization. You have to look at where will your revenue come from, and eventually how will it be a self-sustained project. Okay. Having said that, I want to tell you that interestingly, the ecosystem right now is amazing, which means that even after BIG, you can apply for a BIG for a BIRAC seed fund. There are Nidhi seed funds. There is a Startup India seed fund, and you can take things forward from there. There is BRI, there is BIPP, there is PACE, there is AIR. There are other schemes that can help you take it forward. But but I think the focus should be minimum whatever is needed to take it to the next level. If you are able to take it to TRL 4, 5 with help of BIG, then that will be a great thing. Then you can also have angels coming in, and other investors can also come in at that point of time. Yeah. So there have been BIG successful BIG cases who have only on the basis of BIG taken things forward. Having said that, for example, Ravi has been a case who after BIG and then SBIRI, but they started getting their orders in the meantime, and they are by themselves.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the wonderful information. Nice.
Dr. Keshavan, did you have anything to add to that?
No, the thing is, actually, they have to start a company first, even though if they are getting as an individual, so they have to start a private limited company, and they have to commercialize the product. They can't, complete the project in 18 months, and they can't leave to leave India, or they can't do other business. So you have to focus on starting up the company. For that, you have to sign a MOU agreement with your big partner. So those things are very important. So after that, of course, as Doctor said, you can get other funding as well. So you can't avail for another big grant. Once you got it, you can't get another big grant from DBT. So you can apply for other grants as well. Yes.
Thank you, Keshav.
Dr. Diwan, did you want to add anything to it?
And I think it's all said. As Dr. Keshavan corrected, big BIG is once only an opportunity which can be availed only once, and I think once you are able to demonstrate POC, you would find many ways, and even BIRAC alone gives up to close to more than $1 million per startup. And it then brings in a lot of VCs and investors whom, if they find it on merit basis, they can come invest. There are a couple of schemes where we don't have the upper limit. Like, for example, if you can also get supported to run a phase 3 clinical trial for a new drug, for instance. So there, the upper limit is not there, but you require an industry participation to co-fund that phase 3 clinical trial along with BIRAC support. And there are provisions. I think once you move into that direction, and as Dr. Badalkar and Keshavan suggested, this is 100%, more than 100% commitment to create a startup and initiate into this difficult to track, but I think very highly rewarding journey. Yeah.
Thank you for this immature question, but
no, I think it comes to everybody's mind who is at the fence and thinking whether to commit or hold on, but still like the domain. But I think if you want to get going, commit 100%. Partial yes and no would not do in the entrepreneurial journey. One way is to get initiated, you can get engaged with a startup and look closely how the startup ecosystem works, and what are the challenges, what's the thrill, what are the difficulties, provisions, and then once you think you're ready, then commit yourself to come and deliver and create new innovation and make yourself proud.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the suggestions.
Thank you all.
Since this is Rohit, since this is an international forum, I would like to just mention one more thing. We were previously not allowing OCI people for BIG grant. This call, the new call is open from 1st of July. We are seriously considering to include OCIs as an individual applicant, eligible individual applicant, as well as if they incorporate the startups and they are director in that startup. So I think hopefully this will be made public within this call, but I'm just mentioning. So the guidelines would get updated. I would encourage people to keep looking at BIREX website for fresh update on this subject.
Yeah, that's great news, Dr. Devan. Thanks a lot.
Great. And PIO2?
I'm sorry?
PIO2, person of Indian origin, but having a US passport or some other passport?
I think the PIO provision has been abolished, and PIO OCI is the new replaces the PIO provisions.
Okay.
So I think for a couple of years, OCI is the new directive to be followed. So you don't hold PIO card, for example, anymore. My son is also a foreign citizen, like he is a Canadian by birth. So he was here on a PIO card, but we had to get the OCI done for him.
Okay. Okay.
I think
coincidentally a question. We had an aspirant today with a US passport, and then yes, so that's it.
But they need to come and work in India for
they are already here working.
Yeah. No, but just want
here.
Yeah, I think whatever you said, Dr. Devan, almost answers like one of our questions on YouTube that we got. The question was that can a postdoc currently working in the US apply for big grant? And the answer, I am assuming, is yes. And but like they would need to move and start working in India for them to be, yeah.
So I think the fundamental intent for the BIG is to create number of enterprises, enhance the footprint of biotech enterprises industry in India. So person whosoever is availing it, they need to demonstrate that evidence of activity in India.
Mm-hmm. So there is one question that I think like we got a little lost, but like, so this might be question again to Dr. Keshavan. So like we talked about like the fund disbursement process that happens in 3 different stages, if I remember it right. And is there like an evaluation process that goes in between these 3 fund releasing activities and or like stages, and what is the process of evaluation, or how does a big partner decide that it is the right time or you have done enough for you to get the next stage of money?
So actually the fund will be released based out of your milestone. So the first tranche will released in the very beginning, you will get 15 lakhs of grant. So after 6 months, you can apply for based out of your milestone. Either you have given 3 months. The next milestone will start in 3 months means. So you can apply after 3 months. So mostly the big partner ask you to put a milestone in every 6 months. So for me, I got a first tranche and I'm ready to apply for second tranche in September. So they will evaluate. We have monthly tracking system. So we used to have meeting on every monthly basis. And once you are ready to apply for second tranche, So you have to get all the invoices, all the the spending, the expenditure should be audited. So you have to submit the audit report from your auditor, company auditor, and then so once everything is okay, then they will release the second tranche. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Kesan. Sonam.
So, we are already in the end of the time. So, before we are going to end our session, I have a last question for Dr. Diwan. So, as you mentioned that we have a product showcase website, all those things. But is there any platform where awardees can tell their completion stories? What kind of the page they have a issue facing problem, how they can finish their grant like this? Is there any platform there they can share their story?
The biotechinnovations.com platform, we are trying to make it more holistic. So if you browse that website, you will find there is a spotlight section where the successful stories of BIG grantees on the startups. They tell that we have won, for example, this award, or we have raised this investor, angel or VC funding, or we have got marketing license, CDSCO clearances, etc., etc. There is a section which highlights individual products and startups where industry and other people can connect with them. So I think that is biotechinnovations.com. I would say that is the place where people can share their experiences in the blogs. There's a blogs discussion forum. They can tell, for example, just like Kesavan and Pragmatic, we heard that these are the best practices to compete and try for BIG grant. So I think if there is a discussion topic created in that stream, I think people, the whole world of BIG grantees would like to contribute there. And probably 90% of those who couldn't get BIG grant, because it's only 8 to 10% of the people who actually get the BIG grant. So I think it would be a very interesting discussion forum, I would believe.
Thank you, Diwan. Dr. Diwan. I think
sorry, can I barge in one last question, if I may? This is Kapil from Computer Journals. Very quickly. I saw on one of these slides, I can't remember which exactly, it said 5% royalty for big. I mean, I just wanted some sort of a bird eye view. What exactly is that 5 and for how long is that for anybody who wins the big grant?
So there is a royalty component which was added, and the context of that is once you incorporate a startup and your product gets commercialized whenever. So you can consider to share 5% of the net income from your sales and give it to BIRAC till the time it becomes equivalent to the amount of grant you have received.
Thank you very much. Very informative session. Thank you, everyone.
So we'll take in one final question before we end this. It is again from Subhadeep. He wants to know, Dr. Diwan, the Global BioIndia conference that you mentioned, has the website for it been established, and can NRIs attend it as well?
Oh, yes, I think by all means, everybody can attend this. And the website name is globalbioindia.com. The 2019 edition and 2020-21 edition, all the information you can see, even the reports you can see, what all was done, what were the technical sessions, attendees, etc. That is available for everybody can see. The 2023 announcement would happen soon, and there would be more inputs on that visible pretty soon on the same website.
Well, I think this is, I'm sure everyone has a lot more questions and all, but we will have to unfortunately end it here. Thanks a lot, Dr. Diwan, Dr. Badalkar, Dr. Kesavan, Dr. Sayanti Pramanik, Dr. Swapnil Sinha, who could join us, but couldn't participate much, unfortunately. This information was very valuable, I assume, for us, like the team members of Sci-ROI, the audience members, and also other entrepreneurs and all. And I would like to also personally thank you all on the behalf of the future entrepreneurs and all for creating such a encouraging and motivating environment for us to actually implement our ideas and all. So thanks a lot. With that, I would also like to thank the audience for being a participating audience and asking all the questions, having an interactive session. We hope to bring back many more of the webinars of this kind, and also do follow us on our website. We have a few podcast episodes and also blogs and other webinars on similar areas and fields of interest. So please do follow us. With that, I would like to thank one and all.
Thank you very much for having us here. And I would encourage Sci-ROI team to stay connected so that you can become one conduit for all the people in Canada who want to connect and come back, or US to come back and connect with the ecosystem. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a nice.
Bye-bye.
Can the team members stay back for a minute or something and